McLaren did exceptionally well at Silverstone. Their vibrant papaya-colored car outperformed all the others. After such a remarkable performance, you would expect Lando Norris to be eager to stay with McLaren. However, it seems he may be considering other options. Stay tuned to hear exactly what Lando Norris had to say, and it's not great news for McLaren. Also, don't miss out on Mercedes' latest plan for the W14. There seems to be some disagreement with the Silver Arrows team, and you can decide whether it's positive or negative for them. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Buckle up and join us as we plunge into the depths of this video, leaving no stone unturned. But before we do that, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button down below if you like all things F1. Alright, now let's get back to the video. If someone claimed they predicted McLaren's second and fourth place finishes at Silverstone, they were either die-hard fans or not telling the truth. The team's performance was outstanding, and let's face it, if there hadn't been an unfortunate safety car incident, we might have seen two McLaren cars on the podium. The car was truly impressive, as demonstrated by Hamilton's inability to pass Norris even though he was on soft tires while Lewis was on hards. The McLaren had a clear advantage. Surprisingly, Russell even suggested that Norris didn't deserve his third-place finish and that it should have gone to the Australian rookie, Oscar Piastri. While we may understand George's viewpoint, it's not something you'd expect from a teammate. However, it seems things are not as smooth as we believed at Mercedes. Even Hamilton is calling for serious discussions within the team. This does raise the question, where did this sudden improvement in performance come from? According to Horner, it's a result of Red Bull copying the RB19. I looked at their car on the grid, which was the first time this year I've really looked at it closely, and you can see the philosophy is very similar. So yes, they have clearly chosen to follow the same path with the car as we did. It is inevitable that that will happen. And why wouldn't you? When you see a car performing as well as ours, it only makes sense to try to replicate it, as some teams have decided to do, Horner stated. In addition to the previous points, Hamilton also commended McLaren for following a similar path as Red Bull. Despite McLaren being a customer team of Mercedes, they currently appear to be significantly outperforming the W14 car. It's reminiscent of Aston Martin's strong start to the season, where they had a clear advantage over Mercedes. Certainly, one could argue that Silverstone was a favorable track for McLaren, as Lando Norris himself acknowledged after his second-place finish. It's possible that there will be other circuits where McLaren may face more challenges. The true effectiveness of McLaren's upgrades will become evident when the Hungarian Grand Prix arrives. Interestingly, James Allison from Mercedes has expressed keen interest in monitoring McLaren's performance and upgrades during that race. We keep an eye on all the teams as they upgrade. We take lots of photos and we try to figure out what changes from race to race. We note when something new or unusual comes along. The interesting and unusual thing about McLaren upgrade is that its lap time effect is quite strong. It's unusual to have a step of that size of relative competitiveness in the middle of the season, and chapeau to them. Allison made these comments during Mercedes' debrief following the British Grand Prix. It can be amusing to observe the world of F1 car designs. Despite having highly skilled engineering minds, teams often end up copying each other when one team achieves success with a particular design. The other teams then follow suit, claiming to tweak the concept to suit their own cars. However, deep down, we know that in 2024, we will likely see around 20 cars resembling the RB19 in some way or another. It's like the saying goes, if it's not broken, don't fix it. However, this is not the case for Mercedes, who are now making changes after realizing they went down the wrong path. McLaren's upgrades have indeed proven successful, but according to Zach Brown, there is a significant unsung hero behind their performance, Andrea Stella. This guy is awesome, the way he inherited what we had at the start of the year, recognized the challenges that we had, put in a technical restructure, promoted people from within, because while we've made some bigger hires that are joining, they haven't joined yet. So, this is still the work of all the men and women under Andrea's leadership, and they've put their head down, Brown said of Stella to Sky Sports. While Zach Brown may have received mixed reviews from F1 fans, his reaction to McLaren's P2 and P4 finish at Silverstone was undeniably enjoyable. And it seems that McLaren's success is not stopping there. Andrea Stella has revealed that there are further upgrades in development, indicating that the team is continuing to push forward. It is possible because we have unlocked some performance in the car. We continue to see some very effective aerodynamic development as we progress through the iteration. Stella expressed his thoughts. Is it possible that McLaren will put an end to Red Bull's winning streak? It would indeed be poetic justice, considering that Red Bull is aiming to surpass a record held by the McLaren team. In the past, McLaren sported a red and white livery, which some fans miss dearly. But let's not dwell on nostalgia and focus on the present. Without a doubt, Lando Norris shines as one of the most talented drivers on the grid. Moreover, he is known for being a genuinely good person as well. Lando Norris's exceptional talent naturally leads to speculations linking him to top teams like Mercedes and Ferrari. Recent reports from Italy suggest that both teams have shown interest in a sensational move for Norris and Leclerc, potentially partnering them with Verstappen in 2 years' time. The situation is further fueled by comments from Helmut Marko, a Red Bull advisor, who praises Norris as the best among the rest and highlights his good relationship with Max Verstappen. Amidst all these discussions, it is always intriguing to consider how the actual drivers themselves feel about such situations. Despite Lando Norris's notable achievements, including 5 podium finishes and his recent second-place finish at the British GP, there is a perception that he faces limitations in competitiveness compared to other talented young drivers like George Russell and Charles Leclerc, mainly due to McLaren's package. This has sparked Norris's desire to explore options where he can drive for a stronger team in the future. While he still has 2 years remaining on his McLaren contract, Norris intends to honor it before making any final decisions about his future. However, he admits to keeping an eye on potential opportunities and wonders what his career would be like with a more prominent team. Norris admitted, "As a driver, you always keep an eye on things. It's something every driver on the grid does. Sometimes I do think about what would happen if I were in a different position. However, I'm not someone who wastes time dwelling on it or wishing for something else. I've reached a point where I am content to keep focused and work hard. When the time comes for a change, it will happen. But I don't get carried away with those thoughts. Like everyone, I daydream about different aspects of life." The prospect of a Max Verstappen and Lando Norris pairing is indeed exciting, potentially reminiscent of the beloved Verstappen-Ricciardo combination, but even more competitive. However, one might wonder why Red Bull suddenly seems to be pursuing such talented drivers. According to reports, it is suggested that Liberty Media, the owners of F1, are pushing for competitive and entertaining races, aiming to prevent a repeat of the current championship where Verstappen seems to be easily dominating for a 3rd consecutive title. While we cannot confirm the validity of these reports, it is evident that Max is currently running away with the championship, which can make the competition less thrilling for fans. There is a yearning for more action and excitement, reminiscent of the epic moments witnessed in 2021. Mercedes, a team accustomed to championship victories and overall dominance, consistently aims for podium finishes. However, with Toto Wolff's recent remarks about the team's focus shifting to next year's car, prospects might appear grim for Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. James Allison, however, has stirred things up by contradicting the team's leader. According to Allison, a single upgrade could make a significant difference and propel Mercedes ahead in the battle for the best of the rest in the championship standings. Well, the simple answer is yes. We're only around about halfway through the season and there's still plenty more development to come in these cars. All the teams will, of course, be turning their attention to next year. And that will sort of just defang all of us a little bit in terms of the rate at which we can improve our cars. But for each of us and for us, absolutely there are improvements that we would like to make on the current car that we know will also carry into next year. So it doesn't feel like sort of throwing good money after bad. It feels like you're investing in both seasons with those upgrades. So for us, yes, you'll see the upgrades coming for a little while longer. I suspect for the others too. How does copying designs in F1 affect the competition among teams? Why is Mercedes' decision to change their approach in F1 significant, and what does it teach us about the sport? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.